Okay, Damien Leone, you have my attention. Terrifier 2 is a brand new 2022 horror slasher film directed by Damien Leone, starring David Howard Thornton and Lauren Rivera. And yeah, I reviewed the first one last week. I was going to see it on Wednesday night, but unfortunately, some circumstances arose. I was not able to see it until Friday, and by the time I got done with it on Friday, I had to really sit on it. So today's Monday. It's now releasing my review for Terrifier 2 on Monday. You all have waited long enough, so let's go ahead and jump into this review. Starting off with the good, and I'm going to be completely honest. I've heard every single opinion, good and bad, on this movie. And I'm honestly leaning more towards the good side of this movie. There was a lot of stuff I really enjoyed. First of all, David Howard Thornton is back as Art the Clown, and he's just as creepy as he was in the first movie. In fact, I thought he was a little better in this movie, mainly because he had way more to do in this movie because it was a bit of a longer movie. So he was given much more to work with the extended runtime and with him being at the forefront of the movie. And then one of my biggest complaints with the first movie was the lack of an interesting protagonist. Thankfully, they changed that with this one, with the character of Sienna, played by Lauren Rivera. She does a terrific job in this movie. And I have not seen her in anything else. I know she was in an episode of Iron Fist. I never watched Iron Fist because it just didn't interest me. But yeah, I haven't seen her in anything else. But judging by this movie, I think she's a really good actress. And I really love the way she plays the character of Sienna. She's a protagonist that you want to cheer for. You want to see her succeed. And you actually care about, unlike all the protagonists in the first movie. She was actually really well written, and Lauren Rivera did a terrific job. Now, aside from the characters, yes, just about every other character I'll get to later. Aside from the characters, I really enjoyed the story here. It's a little long, yes, I'll mention that in a minute, but I really did enjoy the story. It's got more of a cohesive narrative than the first movie, where it was just brutal for brutal's sake with no real storyline to it. This one feels much more like an actual well thought out story, and also we got some really great carnage candy and kills in this movie, and that does not hurt when it comes to horror. I really loved just about every kill in this movie. They were absolutely brutal. They did not hold back. Yes, I've read the reports of people having to walk out because they were fainting and throwing up and all that jazz. I can get that if you're a casual, but if you've watched Saw, you've seen just about the worst that this movie had to offer. But that's not taking away from the carnage candy. There's some absolutely brutal kills in this movie, and they're really, really great kills, and they're really creative, and yes, they were very gruesome. Like I said, there's absolutely terrific kills. The atmosphere and the building suspense throughout the movie, absolutely terrific. I love that. The build up to the final confrontation between Sienna and Art the Clown, really well done there. And I also really love the soundtrack and the score. There's a lot of score elements that make me think of Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know if that was done intentionally, but really great callback if it was. I really enjoyed that. And there's a song in the soundtrack that will get stuck inside your head. That just, full disclosure there. Very big earworm song. I do enjoy it. It's a little silly, but hey, when you got a franchise as silly as this, why not just go ahead, go full ham? But that's about all for the good. Let's go ahead on to the bad, and there's a couple things I want to address. First of all, just about every character aside from Art and Sienna, yeah, there was no improvement there from the first movie. You did give us a great character with Sienna, a much better protagonist than in the first movie, but just about every supporting character is either boring, forgettable, or unlikable flat out. Again, this is still early in this franchise, so still room for improvement. And then some of the dialogue is just bad in this movie. I don't know who wrote it, but wasn't a fan of the dialogue. Not knocking the writers, just some of the dialogues just wasn't a fan of it. Also, the runtime, yeah, 2.5 hours was a little too long for me. Third act kind of dragged on. And then the mid-credit scene, probably could have done without that, but that's about all for the bad. On to the final thoughts. I really enjoyed Terrifier 2, much more than I thought I was going to. I had a really good time with it. You got some really great kills. Terrifier 2 is one of the best horror movies of the year, in my opinion. I really enjoyed it. I will be buying it on Blu-ray, and I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So that was my thoughts on Terrifier 2. What did you think of this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you have seen it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.